Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling one of the most crucial skills for any Python programmer, making your programs, well, not crash. We're going to learn how to anticipate errors and handle them like a pro, making your code way more robust and reliable.
Okay, be honest. You've seen this before, right? This giant, scary block of red text that just stops everything. It's called a traceback, and it's basically Python screaming that your program just hit a wall. And man, is it frustrating when that happens.
But what if I told you there's a powerful, built-in way to see these crashes coming? A way to actually manage them and keep your program running smoothly, even when the unexpected happens.
All right, so to pull this off, we need a game plan. Here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at why good code sometimes goes bad, the difference between syntax errors and exceptions, and then we'll build our safety net piece by piece, from handling specific errors to cleaning up afterward.
First things first, let's get to know our opponent. You see, not all errors are created equal. In Python, they basically fall into two main camps, and knowing the difference between them is absolutely key.
And here's the crucial distinction. On the left, you've got syntax errors. Think of these as typos, just plain bad Python grammar. Your program won't even start if you have these. But on the right, that's where it gets interesting. These are exceptions. Your code is technically valid, it looks fine, but something goes wrong while it's running. And these are the ones we can actually catch and handle.
Okay, so now that we know we're hunting for those runtime errors, those exceptions, let's bring out the big guns. This is going to be your #1 tool for the job, the try except block.
So what is it? Think of the try block as a safety zone. It's a place where you can put code that you know is a little bit risky. Maybe you're asking a user for input or trying to open a file. It lets you attempt that operation without the fear of the whole program blowing up if something goes sideways.
And this shows exactly how it works. You start at step 1. You try the code. If everything's fine, that's the green path. You just skip the catch part and move on. Simple. But if an exception happens, bam, the red path. Python immediately drops what it's doing in the try block and jumps right over to step 4, the except block. And the best part? After handling it, the program just keeps on chugging along instead of crashing.
Okay, let's look at a classic example. You've probably written code like this. It's a while true loop, so it's going to run forever until we tell it to stop. Inside our try safety net, we ask the user for a number and try to turn it into an integer. Now, if you type in 10, great, the code works, we hit break, and we're out of the loop. But what if you type 10? Well, normally that would crash, but here, the int function raises a value error, and our code instantly jumps to the except block, prints a nice, friendly message, and the loop just starts over. No crash. Pretty cool, right?
Now, a quick word of warning. You could just use a generic except to catch every single error possible. But that's kind of like using a giant fishing trawler net to catch one specific goldfish. Yeah, you'll catch it, but you'll also catch a bunch of other stuff you weren't expecting, and you might hide real bugs. So, best practice is to be specific.
And lucky for us, Python gives us a whole bunch of specific nets to use. It has these built-in exceptions for all the common problems you'll run into. Try to divide by 0? Bam, 0 division error. Try to open a file that doesn't exist? That's an OS error. It makes our job way easier.
What's really cool is that you can stack these specific except blocks to handle different potential failures. Look at this code. Inside the try block, we're doing two risky things. First, opening a file, and second, converting a line from it to an integer. We have a specific plan for each potential problem. If the file doesn't exist, the first except block catches that OS error. But if the file opens just fine, but the content is, say, the word hello, then the second except block will catch the value error. This gives you super precise control over how your program reacts.
Okay, so we've got a plan for when things go wrong. But what about when everything goes right? Well, there's a special block for that too, and it's called the else clause.
And here's the key thing to remember about else. It is your success code. The code inside this block only, and I mean only, runs if the try block finished completely without a single error.
And this example really shows why that's so useful. Look, the only thing in the try block is open, because that's the only line that can cause an OS error. All the stuff we want to do after the file opens successfully, like reading it and closing it, we stick that in the else block. Why? Because it's cleaner and it's safer. This way, our except OS error block won't accidentally catch some other, totally unrelated error that might pop up while we're processing the file.
All right, it's time for the final and maybe the most powerful piece of this entire structure. We're talking about code that has to run no matter what. Success, failure, even a completely unexpected error. This code runs.
I want you to think of the finally clause as the ultimate cleanup crew. Its job is to guarantee that essential actions, like closing a file or disconnecting from a database, happen every single time. It doesn't care if the try block succeeded, it doesn't care if an exception was caught, it doesn't even care if an uncaught exception is about to crash the whole program. The finally block always executes before Python leaves this whole structure.
So let's see a function that puts all of this together. We've got our try to do the division. We've got an except specifically for zero division error. We've got an else for when it works out. And at the very end, we have a finally clause. So let's put this thing to the test and see how it behaves in a few different situations.
Okay, let's run it. First up, divide 2, 1. No problems there. The division works, so the else block prints the results, and then, sure enough, the finally clause runs. Next, let's try divide 2, 0. That causes a zero division error. Our except block catches it, prints its message, and look at that, the finally clause runs again. But here's the really interesting one. Divide 2, 1. This causes a type error, which we didn't plan for. We don't have an except block for it. So the program is about to crash. But wait, even then, the finally clause gets to run one last time before everything goes down. It is unstoppable.
So let's just recap what we just saw. The try block is where we put our risky code. The accept block is our plan for when a specific thing goes wrong. The else block is our celebration for when everything goes right. But the big takeaway here is that finally is your absolute guarantee. It's the essential cleanup that runs no matter what, giving you this incredibly robust system for controlling how your program behaves, even in the face of errors.
So by really getting a handle on try, except, else, and finally, you're leveling up. You're moving beyond just writing code that works sometimes to engineering applications that are truly resilient, apps that can handle the unexpected without falling apart. You don't have to be afraid of that red wall of text anymore. So the real question is, what will you build now that you're not afraid to try?